only one way to talk about this game. Catcher interference completely swung all momentum. Completely swung all momentum. Top of the first, 3 singles. Morgan gets you an RBI. Hagen Smith, who was flawless, I mean, had multiple innings where he had multiple strikeouts. Didn't matter because Skeens was shoving. Oh, Blake Skeens didn't have all of his best stuff. Okay, all right. I got you. But the bottom of the fourth, yes, Skeens gave up 3 singles, 2 RBIs. But you're, as a team, with Cooper coming in, you're out of that inning. You are out of that inning. Here's another thing. Hayden Travinski. 4 for 4. The rest of your lineup was absolute dog crap tonight. I mean, I get that Hagen Smith. I get that Holland from Arkansas. You've seen before already this season and was the only win that Arkansas had against you this year before tonight. Man. I mean, sounds good. Sounds good that Dylan Cruz hit a home run there in the top of the ninth, but it doesn't matter because you still lose by a run. Catcher interference, man, that's it. They only had one inning that they had any runs. They only had one inning where they had any runs. And you know what? Here's the good thing. Riley Cooper, when it was nut and guts, when it was time to show that you got nuts and guts, 7 strikeouts. Cooper comes into the 5th, bam, closes the door, gets 3 straight flyouts. Bottom of the 6th, Cooper gets a flyout, back-to-back strikeouts, 1 and 2. He comes into the bottom of the 7th, 1, 2, 3. He gets a ground out to the Dugas, and then he would get their best hitters out at the plate, back-to-back strikeouts. That would be 3 and 4. He would come back into the bottom of the 8th. He would get a pop-out, a single, and then he would get strikeout 6 and 7. Cooper did fantastic. Cooper did his job. And you know what? If you're going to make a run, guys, you've only gone through 2 arms in the pen. You've only gone through 2 guys in the pen. I promise you this. Listen to your boy. I promise you this as God is my witness. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, amen. If you face Arkansas again, whether it be in Hoover or whether it be in Omaha, you're going to beat that ass. I promise you, you're not going to have that again. And I pray to God you see Hagen Smith, and I pray to God you see Hunter Holland. Oh, well, Blake, they shut you down twice. Okay. I want them again. Arkansas's not a better team than you. They're not. We can talk about schemes. It's fine. I have nothing bad to say about Paul Skeens. Not a word. It is okay with me to go through what he went through tonight. Because the truth is, at worst, that game should be 3-2. And you would have won it. It's just, it sucks all the momentum out in the inning. Bottom of the 4th, Skeens gets a hit by pitch, or hits a guy, hits Wagner. He gives up a single to Slavens. Then Callie gets an RBI single. Holt gets an RBI single. You would get a fly out. Skeens gets a fly out. He walks a guy, then gets a fly out to Gavin Dugas. And then catcher center, in comes Riley Cooper. And the first batter that Riley Cooper sees is the catcher's interference. They're up 3-2. He gives up a 2 RBI single, which but let's call it what it is, okay? I don't mean this in a wrong way. What are we doing when it comes to having Gavin Dugas shaded so far into that 4-hole? A little dribbler, like dribble, goes back through the middle, and he's nowhere to be found. 2 RBI. But it doesn't, even though you gave up 5 runs to a really good team, you got to be better against frontline pitching. Because I promise you this, if you do get to Omaha, you think Hunter Holland and Hagen Smith are the best, they could arguably well be. There are other dudes out there that can absolutely shove. I know that Hayden Travinski, like the Hayden Travinski base running error, that's a massive error with 1 out. Massive error with 1 out. You cannot have that. And I see everybody on Twitter. Oh, that's Josh Jordan's fault. Guys, no, it's not. At some point, base running wise, you have to do the simple things right. And you know what? 99 times out of 100, Brock Holt, or Holt, whatever it is, Holt. I don't know if that's his first name, but Brock Holt played for the Red Sox. Holt does not make that play. He just doesn't. But it's small things like that adds up, because when that happens in the top of the 6th, you have Braden Joe Bear that's up, and you have 1 out. That's a sac fly RBI. Guys, you lost the game by a run. So let me just say that again. You have a single by Travinski, a single by Morgan. You get the 6-4-5 double play, which shouldn't have happened. It should have just been 1 out. You're doing your job. 1 out, runners on first and third. Braden Joe Bear comes up and hits a sac fly if you don't get out there. You cannot have those small errors against elite teams. And I don't even want to come down on Travinski. Let's call it what it is. Travinski is the main reason you were even remotely in the game going 4 for 4 tonight. I see people getting upset and mad at the strikeout from Trey Morgan there at the end. Guys, he's 3 for 4. At some point, your superstars got to be superstars. And I get it. It's baseball. I get it. Technically, you out-hit Arkansas. Or better yet, should I say, no, really and truthfully, it was Hayden Travinski and Trey Morgan that did. Oh, boy. So you rebound tomorrow. I don't even know who we have tomorrow. I'm so mad. I'm so flustered. Oh, God. You got Texas A&M tomorrow at 3. Texas A&M tomorrow at 3. So there you go. Oh, man. You should have won that one, man. You should have won that one. There's no business. It's no business. All right, let's get to a couple comments. Let me get to these super chats first. Guys, if you send in a super chat, we'll get to these comments first. Just send $1. Send $1. Jake Roberts says $4.99 via super chat. He says, that's what I like to hear, Blake. Come on. I mean, it's true. And thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. It's true. You cannot have those simple errors. and Riley Cooper shoved, man. I mean, listen, you go from the fourth inning, okay, when all of that happened, you go the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 4 innings without getting a run. And really, I mean, truthfully, you weren't even pressuring Arkansas. You got to be better. You got to be better. Riley Cooper can't be any better than it was tonight. Jordan Haydad with a $199 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. He said, they're not umpires, they're school bus drivers. I know that that's a joke, and thank you so much for the $1 super chat or $2 super chat. I know that that's a joke, but it's kind of not. It's kind of not, right? I mean, these dudes are like lawyers and like accountants. Make umpiring and make refereeing full-time paying jobs. By the way, the NBA, you know what their a rookie salary in the NBA is, by the way? Full-time employees. They get paid $250,000. Now they do a lot more than you. And I get that. All right. That's not it. So let's do this. Everybody do this. Do us a favor by hitting the like and share to all of those social media groups. If you're listening to us on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. There's over 100 of you, or close to over 100 of you, live with us on YouTube. Do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the share. It helps us with that algorithm. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate you being with us. So let's get to some more of these comments. We'll take as many of them as we can. Jake Roberts says, no, it's single elimination for everyone from here on out. That is true. Jamie Brady says, how does SC officials get so bad in all sports? Yeah. Adrian Perkins, AD, says the umps need to use some Cremo, fam. Yeah, the AD was in the chat or Twitter saying he uses Cremo and he squirts it all over him or something. Pause. Can't have that. Can't have that. Bayou Bengal 84 says, on a positive note, the bullpen has looked great as of late. I mean, look, let me add this before we kind of get rolling here. So we got a lot of baseball we're going to talk here tonight as well. But you can't strike out 17 times, man. Look, the biggest thing for me, I get the catcher interference. I get you allowed 5 runs in that inning. You just can't strike out 17 times, though. There's no excuse for that. 17 of your 20 of Arkansas's 27 outs, you can't get punched out. Like, you start the game off, Cruz and Pearson go down swinging, and look, White gets a single, Travinsky gets a single, Morgan gets the RBI single, and Thompson strikes out. So you strike out the side. So it doesn't look as bad there. But then you go to the bottom of the second, right? Joe Bear strikes out, Dugas strikes out, Milazzo grounds out a small little dribbler to third. You go to the top of 3. Cruz would strike out again. Pearson would ground out to the first baseman, and White would strike out as well. You go to the top of the 4th. Travinsky. Guys, every time his name's going to get brought up, it's going to be positive. Line drive single. He would score a run on a wild pitch. Remember, bases loaded, he'd score on the wild pitch. Morgan singles into left field. Here's another one. No outs, runners on first and second. Okay? Thompson would strike out. Joe Bear would strike out. Dugas would walk. And then when Milazzo was up to the plate, bases loaded, the wild pitch would happen and he would strike out. Holland would come in for Milazzo and get his first strikeout. So in 4 innings of play, you've struck out 10 times. 10 in 4 innings. 10 in 4 innings. Now you know what it feels like to go against Paul Skeens normally. Okay? Top of 5, 1, 2, 3. the top of your order. So this was another deflating moment in the game for me too. So you just gave up 5 runs. Look, at this point, you got to find a way to answer back. But bottom of 4s, when the whole thing started collapsing for LSU, top of the 5th, Cruz grounds out to 3rd. Pearson strikes out. Tommy Tanks strikes out. Can't have that, man. You can't have that. Now, one very positive note, okay, is you've used 2 arms out of the pen. Only 2. And that has not happened all year in a weekend or in a tournament series. It's not happened. But you've gone to Cooper. You've gone to Ackenhausen. I have no idea what Jay's plan of attack for tomorrow is. None. Like, I have nothing. I don't know. Zero clue. We can debate what he needs to do in the chat, make it a bullpen day. Well, who do you start? Do you go with Blake Money against Texas A&M? I mean, like, where do you go? Now, A&M has not been the best at minimizing runs, and they're fighting for their outright life. Because right now, A&M's a 3 seed in a regional setting per D1 baseball. I agree with some of y'all. A lot of people in here saying, like Nathan says, will Ty Floyd be pitching tomorrow? Oh, I thought you said he should be pitching tomorrow. Spectrum, Jake Roberts, Penn Jones. A lot of people are saying throw Floyd, I guess. I mean, you do need to get you probably do need to get Ty Floyd some work. You probably do. Go to him, man. Go to him. But at 3 p.m. tomorrow, you got to be with it, man. You got to be with it. Okay? You're the first game tomorrow. And then you match up back with Arkansas at 12 on Saturday. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Florida and Vandy here. We'll see. Jordan Haydad said start Gavin Guidry. I think you got to go Floyd, man. You got to get at worst. You got to let you got to let Ty Floyd work, man. You can't let him sit that long. Because if you do lose tomorrow and you don't get to Ty Floyd, Eric says, I get it, but before he got hurt, he was hitting very well. Who is that? Barry Barbier says, Skeens walked too many batters. He was not sharp with his normal game. I mean, he walked 2. I mean, I get what you're saying, but he walked 2. I mean, he didn't. Elwin, that's a dumb comment. It's not just baseball. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it right here. No, he only walked 2. I mean, that wasn't the issue. I mean, he like the bottom of the 4th had nothing to do with guys getting walks. And if you're going to lose the game, I'd rather it be like this: hit by pitch, single, fly out, walk. There's your walk. But then he would get a fly out to Gavin Dugas, and then he would come, and then he'd get pulled. So you got 2 outs. He's only given up 2 runs at that point. Okay, like it's not like, and he's on a pitch count. Okay, he's on a pitch count. So he's given up 2 runs in 4 innings. Hagen Smith, the second best pitcher probably in the country. Let's call it what it is. Hagen Smith is the second best pitcher in the country, and he's also given up 2. Like, was it a great performance by Skeens? No. Was it probably the worst he's had at LSU? Probably. But he didn't have a horrible performance because you go to Cooper there, okay, against Diggs, and that's when the catcher's interference happened. I mean, they only have one inning where they do anything. And look, those two guys are the ones that were a part of beating you the first time in game 1 earlier this year. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, this is just how I feel. It's something that's in my gut. Y'all watch a lot of sports. It's in my gut. If you beat A&M tomorrow and you face Arkansas again, you're beating Arkansas. I can feel it. I can feel it in my gut. Now, I mean, maybe I just got a fart or something, but I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm telling you. No, it's 3 p.m. Central. Whoever asked the time for tomorrow. No, it's 3 p.m. Central. Paxton Clayton, yeah, he's got to get the bat off his shoulder. I agree, guys. Yeah. Oh, I see this in the chat. Yeah. So I don't know what they warned Jay about. Like, I have no clue. I have no clue what they have. What they warned Jay about later in the game. Like, I get that Jay was upset about the catcher's interference, but what are they warning him about? And look, I get Jay's not going to say anything negative about the game tonight. That was shit. Like, that was a shit game. Oh, it clearly touched. Okay. Would love to know what Jay Johnson argued there. Would love to know what Jay Johnson was arguing there. But the fourth is what beat you, man. And I hate to say this. But Milazzo's got to be better than that. It's got to be better. I get it. That's a tough spot, man. Tough spot. But and again, and I'll continue to say this all night long, you just cannot strike out 17 times. You cannot strike out 17 times. That is horrible. Looked like the game plan from Paul Skeens was, look, I'm on a pitch count. It seemed like he was trying to pitch to contact, trying to get guys in and out of there. Maybe he could go longer. But, give Arkansas a lot of credit. One thing we haven't done, give Arkansas a lot of credit. They made Skeens work. But Cooper came in and slammed the door. I hate that he gave up the 2 RBIs there, or the 2 runs there, because they're earned on Skeens. But I hate that he gives up the hit there to Bofferin. But he comes in and gets a ground out, and then he shoves the rest of the way. I mean, nothing that Riley Cooper did is his fault today. It's all on Skeens there. But they're a good team, man. LA Mom 2020 says, did it touch? Question mark, exclamation point times 3. The replay that I saw from the side view did not look like it touched. I don't know. I mean, you could see his mitt get, like, at least to me, it looked like the top of the mitt got hit. So, look, we can talk about Skeens in the 4th inning all the hell we want to. We had been talking about all year long, well, the bullpen. And this part is baseball. You're the best hitting lineup, and 2 times Arkansas had 2 guys and 2 lefties that they can run out there and close you out to some extent. They can hold you off enough. Nick Rizzuto says, different topic. Does 8 SEC teams host regionals? It would be a first time. No, I do not, with South Carolina losing today. Matthew Denicola on Facebook says Milazzo is good at defense. But here's the truth, Matt, and I'm going to get to the rest of your part here. He has not been better than Travinsky. I mean, he had a great block tonight, but name a time when you've been there and sat there and said, we talked about this last night with Matt Trent, who, you know, his accolades of being a former collegiate pitcher. Name a time Travinsky's been bad behind the plate. And I get you're giving him some rest. I get you want to get Milazzo in there. But when hits are so crucial, okay, in a game like this, and you go and he is a defensive guy, you can't make a defensive blunder. He says, but I think Travinsky needs to be the catcher. Okay, maybe I should have read the rest of your comment. And we could be a DH below. So I get the thought process. I mean, it's lefty on lefty matchup. I mean, you're playing your odds of getting and Milazzo's had some big hits this year. Not against that, though. That might be the best 1-2 punch in the country, right? Like, they're the best 1-2 punch. Holland and Smith are the best 1-2 punch in the country. I mean, after Skeens, I mean, I know that Cooper shoved tonight, but that's not consistent. I'm glad that Cooper threw strikes. I'm glad Cooper threw strikes. Let's call it what it is. Jamie Fortenberry says, we still had runners on every inning from the 5th on and didn't score. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Top of 5, you went 1, 2, 3. Yeah, top of 5, you went 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Yeah, the 5th you didn't. I'm trying to make sure that just in case. I mean, technically, yeah, maybe from the 5th on, maybe I misread what you're saying. Are you saying from the 5th inning on? Okay. Yeah, he's not wrong. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9 we did. I mean, 9th. The 9th is when Cruz hit the home run, but you're right. The 8th, Travinsky singled. He was 4 for 4. Morgan would strike out. RBI single by Thompson. Top of the 7th, the infield single by Dugas. See, and here's a big one, man. Here's a big one. Like, again, Milazzo K'ing right there. Can't happen. Pearson would K after that. So Cruz would walk. So you got runners on first and second, 1 out, Pearson K'd. And then you got oh man, this one really stings. Top of the 7th, you got runners on first and second. You're down 5-2, and you could have tied it up with 1 swing of the bat from Tommy White. But he would ground out to third. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jamie. You're not wrong. That's on me. I thought you were saying like in the 5th. I was about to say, no, we had talked about the 5th. We had talked about the 5th. Aaron Hornsby says 17 times strikeout champs. It's a nice wrestling reference there. Nick Rizzuto says different. Oh, we got to that one. Richard Manning says no one figured out they would pull that stunt on third. No one. They were special on that one. Sure. Yeah, sure. See how you rebound tomorrow, man. Let's see how you rebound tomorrow. I mean, I really don't have. I really don't have anything else to say. Really. I don't have really anything else to say. I mean, maybe you have a situation where I don't know. Ryan C says at this point, you're probably right, I guess. Ghastly Gamer says they didn't have any to start with, but they have been pitching lights out with kids that haven't done it all year. Yeah. Oh, Michael on YouTube says, why do you change the lineup in the ninth? Well, here's the reason why you change the lineup in the ninth is simple nature. I mean, do you want Alex Milazzo coming up to the plate or Jared Jones? And it's a very tough spot for Jared Jones. At least Jared Jones didn't strike out. And I know that's so awful to say, but at least he didn't strike out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough place to be in. But he's a better overall hitter than Alex Milazzo is. At that point, you need runs. And then Pearson, I mean, either go with what you think. So yesterday in the one plate appearance that Paxton Kling got, he hit the hardest hit ball, or had the hardest hit ball at 109 miles an hour off the bat. It was 109.8. And, so I think that you just look at Pearson's at-bats tonight and you just sit there and say, look, he's looked really bad at the plate against a lefty, and you got to go somewhere else. So I don't know what Texas A&M has at this current moment. Like, I have no clue what Texas A&M has. None. No clue. But they're a really well-coached team. They do have some dudes that can hit. Let's see what Ty Floyd can do. I mean, I guess it just really depends. I would throw Ty Floyd, let him give some work, but that was a rough one. And let's call it what it is. Arguably, probably the best pitching performance you're going to see all weekend. There's not two better guys. You saw a Major League Baseball game tonight with Hagen Smith and Paul Skeens on the bump. And you came up a run short. And, you're a half game back from winning, because if you would have arguably won that game 3 against South Carolina, you would have been the outright SEC champs of the West, okay? Because you have the tiebreaker and beating Arkansas in the beginning of the year. Kind of a little bit of a revenge game in some sense, like, hey, who's the real champion? And today you lost it. Now, does it really matter if you can get into the regionals, super regionals, you get into Omaha? No. But if you face them again and you have those two dudes on the bump, I want to see them again. As a competitor, I want to see them again. I would want to make those two guys shut you down a third time. Shut you down a third time. Remember the first time, the only run that you had was a Brady Neal opposite field home run. We'll find out. It's not the only news we had here today. I guess that we need to get to. I'll get to some more of these comments before we do that. Let me just address this, though. Arkansas head coach Dave Van Horn says the bat definitely hit the glove, and it was no doubt catcher's interference. From an LSU beat perspective, don't quote him, especially when you've been in this game long enough. He says they all heard it. I don't give it to Rudy Poo's what Dave Van Horn heard. You look like a guy that should be dressing up in khakis and a button down every day. Says the ball still made it to the outfield, could have been gone much further. Yeah, bullshit. Who gives two Rudy Poos? And let me tell you all this, too. This 11.7 guy, the College Baseball Podcast, they put all these videos up there. They hate LSU's demise. They hate it. All right, Jay Johnson. Let me get this quote from Jay Johnson. He said, "It's a tough ball game. You got to give a lot of credit to Arkansas. They're a very talented order. They did a good job of competing. Kind of got a break that with the catcher's interference. We competed better against these pitchers than we did in March, but we still left a lot to be desired in some of those at bats." There's no better way for Jay Johnson to say it. No, but there's no better. So basically, he's telling you, like, look, this is what Jay's telling you. You want to know what Jay's telling you? Listen, I know we had a really shitty fourth inning. You got to hit the ball. You got to go out there and swing the bat. That's what Jay's telling you. That's the bottom line of what Jay's telling you. Hey, man, we had a really bad fourth inning on a guy that's got on a pitch count. You know, Riley Cooper came in and shoved. Let me ask you this. When are you going to be a complete team where you can just have two really I'm not even asking for great performances, but just good performances? When can you put back-to-back games together and do that? Look, we came into this tournament. This is the funny thing about what we talked about coming off last weekend against Georgia, especially in that Sunday game. Could you and would you find out about your team in a tournament setting when you go into Hoover? Will it prepare you for regionals? And look, I'll be honest, my take was if your bullpen doesn't step up, you're not winning a Rudy Poo thing. The problem with that is they've stepped up. Nate Ackenhausen and Riley Cooper have stepped up. Now you go into the game tomorrow with Texas A&M. You got to find a way to win it. I want Arkansas again. You're 2-2 against Arkansas in the season. Might even tweet that out right now. I'm going down talking shit. Was kind of glad tonight to see Jay Johnson. If I am going to be, there's one thing I am kind of glad about. I am kind of glad to see Jay Johnson getting a little fiery. Not going to lie. All right, let's do this. I haven't taken a break all show. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Let me reset. We got some football news. LSU got a commitment. Brian Kelly's locking down the state. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about more about tomorrow with Texas A&M. I'll pull up their stats and some of their guys and what you can expect from them. I don't know who they're going to throw, but I do know them really pretty well. Watch the game today. They're a good hitting team. So let's talk about our good friends over at BetOnline and GM Varno and Sons. So let's reset. We'll be back really soon. Don't go anywhere. Soon. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Vardo & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno and Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. We're back. All right, everybody hit the like and share. Don't be a Rudy Poo. Hit the like and share. I'm going to disagree with one thing I saw in the chat. Nick, I don't agree. Nick Chasson said Arkansas got clutch hits and Tigers didn't. I don't believe that's not true. It's not true. They have one inning. They had multiple guys on two. They didn't have clutch hits through 8 innings. They had one big inning, but you didn't have the clutch hits. I agree with you. Arkansas is one catcher's interference away from losing. Let's call it what it is. All right. So in case you missed it, look, so we've talked about this a little bit. LSU and Brian Kelly have identified their top 15 prospects in Louisiana. And we've constantly talked about this. And sneaky because, look, it's baseball season. You're in Hoover right now. A lot of things are going on. Not really the football season. But in case you miss it, because it did happen, and the news did break during the baseball game today or yesterday if you're listening back on the video. But Demarion Johnson, 6'2", 280-pound defensive lineman from Westgate, New Iberia, has committed to LSU. So let me tell you what's going on here. And this isn't this isn't opinion. This is fact. LSU has identified their top 15 prospects in this class, and they're probably going to get – they might, maybe have one slip away. Maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Brian Kelly has identified the top 15 prospects in this state and is going to get all of them. We talked about 2 weeks ago that the last time that happened, there was a guy by the name of Nick Saban who was here and did that in 2001. If you're able to get Wardell Mack, if you're able to get Dominic McKinley, if you're able to get some of these, Kobe Young and some others, I know I'm missing off a few. That is a full state. Joe Rogers, you are locking your state down. So that is also without going and possibly landing a guy like Colin Simmons, some of the offensive linemen that you're attempting to bring in here. And if you remember, and this is not a shot at Orgeron, but you remember the old saying that Orgeron used to have about recruiting? We're going to lock the state down, and we're going to go outside the state and get first-round picks. It's kind of what Brian Kelly's doing without even ever having to say it. It's everybody's game plan when they coach here. Lock the state down and go get recruits that you think are potential first-round picks from other states. Colin Simmons comes to mind. He's not the only one, but Colin Simmons comes to mind. It's interesting, man. What are you going to say about Brian Kelly? What will you say about Brian Kelly if he gets the top 15 guys that he wants? Not what 247 has him ranked, not what, for the love of God, On 3 has him ranked. Just a massive addition. Big fish. Anyway, what are you going to say if he gets all those dudes? Look, you got Kalaj Cobbins. You got the kid from Ruston, Ahmad Bro. I mean, Now you go get this kid from Westgate, Dominic McKinley's still out there, and you're in the driver's seat at the current moment for Colin Simmons. Just telling you, man. The one question we always had was, could Brian Kelly recruit? And to the current moment, as it sits, he's not doing a bad job. Now, when I look at Demarion Johnson, it's not as if that he didn't have a crap load of offers, because he did. He did have a crap load of offers. The 3-star, I might add. And I know it, when we posted, everybody's like, oh, he's a 3-star. Well, I mean, he did have a crap load of offers. As I look at him here, these are some of the teams that offered him: Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma State, Colorado, LSU. It's a pretty damn good list. And when you have teams like that that are offering a kid in your state, 9 times out of 10 that he could play. So now you got Trey'Dez Green. Now you have 16 commitments. Let's read them down. Trey'Dez Green, Maurice Williams, Kalaj Cobbins, Deshaun McBride, who, by the way, I told you was a top kid in the country. You didn't believe me. He's climbed all the way to the top 3 safety in the class. Quarterback in Colin Hurley, Tavion Galloway, Jawan Johnson, Joseph Stone, Zion Ferguson, Devon Keys, Demarion Johnson, Kari Lee, Wallace Foster, Ahmad Bro, and Aaron Burrell. Oh, and by the way, you have some more commits coming. Because I do think that you sit in a really good position for Dominic McKinley. I think you sit in a good position for Wardell Mack. And by the way, Tylen Singleton, the linebacker from Manny, Louisiana, I feel really good about. So you have a potential, literally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The top 15 kids in the state that you wanted, you got. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. It's sneaky. Not a lot of people are talking about LSU, but as I see it right now, I mean, I guess depending on what service you look at, they're number 5 team in the country again. And they're only going to get better in recruiting. They're only going to get more recruits. All right. Matthew Denicola. I do hope that I'm saying that right, but that's a cool last name. Denicola. Denicola sounds like a mafia member. You know? Matthew the Hands Denicola. Matthew the Hands Denicola was known as a Genovese crime family underboss. Oh, that's true. Matt McMahon got a commitment day. That is correct. Damian Collins from Kentucky. See? Didn't even talk about that as well. I mean, man, I gotta talk about my dude, Matt McMahon. I know that y'all hate his ever-living guts. Yeah, but anyway, we can talk about him as well. Damian Collins from Kentucky transferred or made an announcement today that he is transferring to LSU. Now, he's a 6'9" forward, about 200 pounds. Didn't see a lot of action last year. Played in 25 games for Kentucky, averaged 2 points a game. Didn't really have a lot of statistical stuff going on with him. Now, he was a guy that a lot of people wanted out of high school. Obviously, Kentucky wanted him out of high school. He's played 52 games at Kentucky. Has only averaged about 8 minutes per game throughout the year, throughout the 2 years at Kentucky. I guess let's see what he can do at LSU. Can Matt McMahon get the best out of that young man? He's got some years with him. Cole Harville on YouTube sends us $1.99. Thank you, Cole, so much. If you have a comment, you can throw it in there. We'll throw it up there with you right now. But thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Every time you guys do that, that helps us grow. As you know, we're already growing the studio. This is not going to be here forever. The setup's going to be, and I know I've said that, but we've built this, and we're going to continue. You know what's funny, though? You know what's funny? I said this to Matt Trent yesterday. I believe it was Matt Trent. Yesterday was 5 years from when we were still doing videos, man. It's been 5 long years doing this. Can you believe it? I can't. Southern Miss tie game, top of the ninth. It's a team that you should expect soon. I don't think that they're hosting. Brandon Reese says, from what I read, Matt McMahon now has all the scholarship spots filled. I will be honest. I will be completely honest with you. I have no idea. L.A. Farm Girl, farm spelled P-H-A-R-M. I'm assuming like pharmacy, maybe. What do I know? Says tomorrow is 100 days until the Florida State game. Yep, no offseason. Chance Babin says the Westgate drought is over. ... Maybe. You'd hope so. I mean, you get a commitment. That's something. That is something. Richard Neen says, think Johnson was saying that Chervinsky was interfered with also. Interfered with how? I don't know how. I don't know. Interfered with how? Chris Barnhill says, you can hate that man. Question: how can you hate that man? He took over an impossible situation following Will Wade. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people do hate Matt McMahon, though. A lot of people do not like Matt McMahon right now. I don't get it. I mean, it was frustrating last year, and he's got to get it rolling. Cole Harville says, you may have already said something about it in the past, but Brady Neal has back tightness, but I had Buddy catch for Southern Miss was a starter. He thinks something more serious. Yeah. Something more serious is out of this. Yeah, Cole, it's something. It's not back tightness. When Jay said the injury about Brady Neal when it first happened, and he said, yeah, he's just got some back tightness. I looked at Matt Trent, who joined us last night, like, yeah. Back soreness. Yeah, you know what, Coach? I got back soreness too. I'm in my 30s. It sucks. Oh, man. Father Abear says, you really need to maximize on Louisiana recruits this year because next year we're going to have to go out of state. Word is it's going to be a down year for talent. I don't know. I mean, you do have some. Good running backs, but I mean, like Harlem Berry, Anton, the corner out of Westgate as well. I mean, one of his teammates committed today. You got Keelan Moses, Corey Amos, James Simon, Russell Babineau. Devin Harper's not a bad one. The kid from Captain Shreve, I like him a lot. The 6'5" tackle. Deshaun Ford. Yeah, Brett Borderline already committed. He ain't going nowhere. I do wonder if they make a run at John David LaFleur, the tight end. Tyron Francis. They got some guys, Father Aber, I think. But I do agree with you. I do agree with you. It might not be as top heavy as it is this year. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Ghastly Gamer says Johnson was arguing the umpire because he thought there was a catcher's interference and was not called. Oh, is that what Jay said, that he was arguing why they gave him a warning? Ryan says, walking around with these BK cojones has my back, quote unquote, tight too. Pause. Jeez and Pete. Chad says the down year for talent is this next year is supposed to be better. Yeah, they got some dudes next year. They got some dudes. All right, let's end it with this. So, Texas A&M, you got them tomorrow at 3. Faced them already this year. You remember how that series already went. You took the first 2. Probably should have swept them. But they rallied late. They took a game. They took game 3. But they got Chase Lavalette. They got Trevor Warner. Jack Moss, even though the home runs might be down a little bit, he's still hitting 359. Can Ty Floyd shut him down? Can Ty Floyd shut him down? Now, let me go to this. Let's see what Ty Floyd did against them last time. Let's see what Ty Floyd did against them last time. Let me get this box score up. Ty Floyd went 3 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits on 5 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 base on balls, 3 strikeouts, 1 hit by pitch. He threw 68 pitches. Garrett Edwards was actually the one who got the win. He went 3 1/3 as well. Gave up 3 hits on 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. That's a lot in 3 innings. Then Riley Cooper came in, gave up 2 hits. Blake Money came in and got the save. Got a strikeout and only allowed a hit and 1 earned run. I'm assuming the way that this line looks, he only gave up. He must have gave up a home run that I don't remember. Let me see. No, he didn't. Okay. So last time Ty Floyd saw Texas A&M, he didn't do too hot. So, but he's a completely different Ty Floyd. He's had really good games this year. I mean, he's kind of come on of late. I mean, that's early in the season. Was that in March? So, man, I do too, Chris. Chris Barnhill says, Garrett, man, I miss Garrett. Yeah, I do too. Richard Manning sends us a $5 super chat. Thank you, Richard Manning. He says, Blake, when you feel as strongly about winning a game as you do about beating Arkansas in a third game, it's called feeling the feel. I feel that you're going to beat it. If you face them on Saturday, I do believe you're gonna get them. I do believe you're going to get them. I do, man. I really do. I don't know if that means. I don't know what that. I don't know what that means. Father Darby says, I don't know what I'm talking about. Carry on. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Father A-Bear. Don't say that. Richard Head on YouTube says, Ty Floyd is a born again. Ty Floyd is born to pitch again. He's a Bertrand new man. I'm assuming he means brand new man. He's a born again pitcher. Is that what you're trying to say? Chris Barnhill says we play the A&M for SEC opening series. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. All right, let's get out of here, man. Let's get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Post game again. Hopefully you win. Play Saturday and Sunday. We'll be here covering it all, man. We'll be here covering it all. Till tomorrow, knuckleheads. Peace out, Girl Scouts.